Hi, I'm Sergeant Bob Wilkie with the Westland Police Department. I'm here today with my special helper, Alyssa, and we're going to go over some school safety tips from outside of Edison Elementary here today, okay? So, I've got some questions for her, and I was wondering if you could give me some answers as to some of the common questions kids might have with back-to-school safety, okay? So, my first question is about crossing the street. What do you think that kids should do when they're crossing the street to make sure that they're safe?
I would definitely look both ways. Even if you do see your friends across the street, I would not run. Make sure that there aren't any cars coming, make sure that there aren't any bikes or anything coming, and make sure that you definitely look both ways. Even if you do see a friend, make sure you put safety first.
That's a great idea. So in other words, you need to stop, slow down, and even though you're excited, make sure there's not a car coming, because you could be hit by a car if you're too excited and you don't check the street first before you cross. Very good. Okay, what about bus safety? What do you think about bus safety? It's probably pretty closely related to the street safety, but what do you think would be good tips for kids as they're getting off the bus?
I would say don't run down the steps. Don't push or shove while trying to get through the aisle. And make sure you watch out for cars and people and bikes and stuff like when you're crossing the street as you're getting off of the bus.
Very good. It sounds like the same rules kind of apply to crossing the street as well as getting off the bus. You need to definitely make sure that the road is clear before you try and cross, right? By looking both ways, right?
Right.
Right. Very good. That sounds good. As far as adults go and as far as the traffic safety here, it is very important that everybody out there who's driving and sees a bus stop knows that if the red lights are blinking, you need to stop for the bus. If the yellow lights are blinking and you're able to stop, you need to stop for the bus. This includes any kind of undivided roadway, including major roads. Any of the major surface streets within the city here, if it's not a divided roadway, you need to stop for traffic both ways when the red lights are activated. Okay? That's an adult tip. But next, on to another more child-related tip here is strangers. Strangers are definitely something that I get asked about and, something that kids want to know about. So what do you think are the best rules for when you encounter a stranger? If somebody was to come up and talk to you on the way to school, what would you think would be the best thing to do?
I would say if somebody tries to approach you or offers you to get in their van for candy or something, I would say no, but if you're uncomfortable, I would just say no and kind of walk away. If they try to grab you or anything, I would definitely yell stranger instead of yelling help, because if you're yelling help, then they would think it's your parent trying to pull you because you're doing something bad. But if you yell stranger, then they'll know that something's going on. They'll know that you don't know that person.
That sounds like a great tip right there, because otherwise it could just look like you're kind of in an argument with your parents, right? So you said yelling stranger is a good thing to do. That makes sense, right? That makes a lot of sense. So after we get to school, let's say that nobody grabbed you. Obviously, if somebody grabbed you, you're going to run and tell an adult as quick as you can. But let's say that even somebody was just following you or made you feel uncomfortable. What would you think you would do as soon as possible? Who could you tell if there was somebody who was following you on your way to school?
I would tell a crossing guard, a teacher, a parent, etc.
Okay, very good. Any responsible adult, preferably one that has something to do with the school, right? Yep, absolutely. And even if kids, before you get to school and you see an adult and you tell them, please make sure you tell the school as well, because we want to do everything that we can to make sure that you're safe on your way to and from school. If anybody approaches you and makes you feel uncomfortable, or you just think that there's something strange about that person, you can't do anything wrong by just mentioning it to an adult. So we strongly, strongly say you should do that, okay? So I would really like to thank Alyssa. I really appreciate her help today. We've had some great school safety tips. If you need any more, there are constantly tips and different interesting ideas and thoughts on the City of Westland Facebook page and the Westland Police Community Partnership Facebook page. So with that being said, I'd really like to wish everybody a safe and happy school year. And
That goes for parents too.
all right. Thank you very much for joining us.